What is the difference between leopards and jaguars? Big cats are quite something, aren't they? Their appearance, physicality, grace, and power are just a few aspects we admire and fear about animals that once preyed on our ancestors. In modern times, we have made them the stars of countless studies, analyses, and documentaries. Despite the fanfare, the subjects of today's video would much rather live out their lives in the shadows, where their stealth provides protection and sustenance. We are, of course, talking about the jaguar and the leopard, distant cousins often mistaken for twins. So, what are the differences between the two? Are there any similarities? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Spot the difference. Leopards and jaguars are fearsome jungle cats, known for their hitman-style kills and equally cold attitudes. These super predators have been inspiring fear in their respective ranges for ages. You heard that right. Leopards and jaguars live in totally different parts of the world. The leopard, aka Panthera pardus, is the most widely distributed wild cat in the world. Despite rapid urbanization, leopards are walking the proximity to humans tightrope much better than other big cats. They are found in most of the undisturbed wildlands of sub-Saharan Africa that can support their prey. Leopards also thrive in India, parts of Southeast Asia, and even the Russian Far East. They are rarer in Central Asia these days, but they thrived back when prey was plentiful. Environments range from semi-deserts to dense rainforests, while trees, boulders, and caves are classic habitats, as you can see. Leopards are very much old-world big cats. Jaguars, Panthera anca, on the other hand, are the opposite. This New World kitty rules as the largest cat in the New World. Its habitat stretches from central Mexico down through Central America and into the rich jungles of South America. It is extinct in the United States, but once thrived and lived in diverse environments. Jaguars tend to stick to the jungles, preferring rich rainforests and swamps, but they can adapt to dry grassland and sparse forests. Jaguars are much more ground-based than leopards and live anywhere that provides cover. As apex predators, jaguars sleep easy knowing no animal would dare sneak up on them. Leopards are not usually apex predators where they live, and they often have to worry about lions, hyenas, tigers, wolves, and bears, depending on their range. Therefore, they need safer real estate. What other differences are there between the two? Well, let's talk about the area that breeds so much of the confusion: their spotted coats. Typical specimens of both species have yellowish to reddish tan coats with black, brown, or reddish spots called rosettes. Spot patterns are unique to individuals, like our own fingerprints. At a casual glance, it's easy to confuse the two animals. However, there is one sure way to tell. The large rosettes on the jaguar's sides and hind legs often form rings with smaller dots inside them. A leopard's rosettes, no matter how large, never have dots in them. It's a subtle difference, but once you learn to look for it, it becomes easy to tell them apart. Even melanistic jaguars with all black coats have rosettes with dots, but this is a bit harder to see. Despite the difference, the spotted coats serve the same purpose. The pattern is excellent camouflage for these stealthy hunters, allowing them to get fatally close to prey without raising the alarm. The difference in the style of spots is a byproduct of divergent evolution. Divergent evolution describes two or more species without a recent shared ancestor that have evolved similar attributes for similar purposes. In other words, despite being separated by oceans and millennia of years of familial branching off, leopards and jaguars evolved spots because of their environments. So, besides the rosettes, how else can we tell leopards and jaguars apart? Well, their physical profiles and size. While both are very large cats, the jaguar is significantly larger, bulkier, and has a more lumbering gait, although still very graceful and nimble. Jaguars also have a more rounded head, while leopards have smaller heads with sharper angling, especially at the jaw. Jaguars have an average weight range of 123 to 210 pounds, with males occupying the upper ends of that range. In some cases, wild jaguars can be as large as 348 pounds. Shoulder height ranges between 22 and 32 inches. These numbers place the jaguar as the third largest cat species in the world, behind tigers and lions. The leopard is generally accepted as the fourth largest cat in the world, but some exceptionally large pumas give it a run for its money. Shoulder height range is between 22 and 28 inches, while weight ranges from 45 to 159 pounds. The biggest wild leopards frequently reach and exceed 200 pounds. Again, males grow larger than females. With a bit of experience, you can also learn to tell between leopards and jaguars by the proportions of the tail. 527. Leopards have longer tails relative to body height than jaguars. Leopards' long tails are perfect counterbalances for life in the branches and their daring aerial maneuvers. This ties into the fact that leopards are more arboreal than jaguars. Don't get it wrong. Jaguars are very decent tree climbers, but leopards are bona fide acrobats. Leopards depend on trees for shelter, shade, storage, and scouting. A leopard can haul a dead carcass more than twice its own body weight up a tree to stash it beyond the jaws of rival predators, a sight that never ceases to amaze. It can pursue baboons and monkeys through branches, as if it were running on the ground. Again, jaguars have no one to hide prey from, so they're less reliant on climbing. But what the jaguar lacks in climbing, it more than makes up for in swimming. Along with tigers, jaguars are the most water-loving of the big cats and spend significant time lounging, playing, or pursuing prey in rivers, lakes, and even the sea. Leopards, on the other hand, generally stick to the feline stereotype of avoiding water apart from drinking. However, they're also good swimmers and will sometimes dive for fish and crabs. That said, affinity for going in the water varies greatly. Some leopards love it, while others absolutely hate getting wet. Perhaps the avoidance of water is based on the need to stay alert, especially when looking after young. Splashing about can afford a murderous lion or tiger just enough time to sink you or your cubs, after all. Additionally, leopards tend to live in areas where water bodies are home to a little problem known as crocodiles. The difference in home ranges also means there are differences in diet, although both cats are wholly carnivorous. Jaguars prey on the common staples in its neck of the woods. This includes lesser and greater anteaters, capybara, marsh deer, monkeys, agouti, and jungle fowl. They will also go after a variety of fish, turtles, crabs, and even caiman. Footage of jaguars sneaking up or swimming up to the unsuspecting crocodilians never stops being mind-blowing. Jaguars close to human settlements will also turn their focus on livestock. South America teems with cattle ranches, and many of these are right in jaguar territories. Jaguars also go after goats, chickens, and dogs. Attacks on humans are extremely rare, and man-eater jaguars are unheard of. Depending on the region, leopards prey on antelope, deer, birds, lizards, monkeys, baboons, wildebeest, zebra, and calves of large herbivores. Livestock is also easy picking for a leopard who can borrow your goats on a nightly basis without intervention. Attacks on humans are much more frequent, and leopards have a history of preying on young children left alone at night. Hunting strategies tend to differ as a result of the difference in prey, but there are great similarities too. For large mammalian prey like deer or antelope, leopards and jaguars use similar stealth approaches. They either sneak up on a victim or wait for victims to come to them while they're trying to blend into their surroundings when the victim is close. They pounce on them or engage in a very brief chase. Once caught, the cats will use the retractable claws in their front paws to grip victims so they can go for the jugular. Both cats use their powerful jaws to clamp a victim's windpipe shut, causing suffocation. For smaller prey like monkeys or birds, leopards and jaguars bite to break the neck. However, the jaguar has a special killing move that other big cats don't have when hunting large prey. The jaguar may favor a quicker execution than choking. In such cases, the jaguar can literally crack skulls and manually turn off brains. It simply positions its deadly jaws at the top of the victim's head and bites down hard. More often than not, the skull gives in, and the big cat's big canines deliver a death blow to the brain. Jaguars mainly use this method on caiman. The armored crocodilians have fairly thick necks, and choking them out is simply not possible. But even the caiman has vulnerabilities, and the jaguar has studied them well. Ideally, a jaguar will look for a caiman basking on riverbanks because they are easier to wrestle and overpower on land where the cat is sure-footed. Attacking caiman in the water is much trickier, and larger caiman could even turn the tide on a jaguar and cause serious injury. When a target is spotted, the jaguar will sneak up and sprint toward the caiman from behind to avoid facing the crocodilian's mean set of teeth. When the jaguar gets on top of the caiman, it immediately presses its weight down on the reptile and angles for the killer brain bite. For a seasoned caiman hunter, struggles are usually over in seconds. These unique kills are possible because of another difference between leopards and jaguars: bite force. A leopard has a very high bite force of 300 to 310 pounds per square inch, which is more than enough for strangling prey and tearing flesh off bones. However, a jaguar's bite force can be up to 5 times that at 1,500 psi. That's more than hyenas, bears, and other big cats. This makes the jaguar, pound for pound, a champion among its cousins. Behind this incredible bite force is the jaguar's massive jaw muscles, which contribute to its head's blocky shape. Caiman armor and turtle shells require serious power to breach. After all, jaguars also love marrow, so bone-breaking jaws are a necessary evolution. The last difference between the two animals is that there are many more leopards than jaguars in the wild. Leopards' wider distribution and adaptability means there are up to 800,000 wild leopards in the world. Though far from endangered, there are fewer than 200,000 wild jaguars left. However, conservation efforts mean that we will be able to enjoy these proud and beautiful creatures for quite a while yet.
See you in next video. Bye.